The Zephyrian High Council chamber fell silent as the emergency klaxons wailed across their crystalline capital city. Through the massive viewing portal, they could see it approaching. The Vorthak, an ancient terror that had haunted their nightmares for millennia. Its massive form blotted out 3 of their 7 suns, its scales reflecting the light like molten obsidian, and its roar shook the very foundations of their floating metropolis. "By the 7 lights," whispered Council Prime Zixthera, her blue-scaled hands trembling as she gripped the command podium. It has awakened. The creature was impossibly vast, easily the size of their largest dreadnought. Legends spoke of the Vorthak as the destroyer of worlds, a beast so ancient that it existed before their civilization had even learned to harness quantum energy. Its 4 wings, each spanning several kilometers, beat with a rhythm that sent shockwaves through the atmosphere. Rows of crystalline spikes ran along its serpentine neck, and its eyes burned with an intelligence that was both alien and terrifying. "Evacuation protocols are in effect," announced Defense Commander Krelmion, his usually steady voice cracking. "All civilian craft are fleeing the outer perimeter, but at the Vorthak's current speed, we have perhaps 30 standard time units before—" He never finished the sentence. Through their advanced telescopic displays, something impossible came into view. There, seated confidently between the creature's massive shoulder blades, was a figure that made the council exchange bewildered glances. A human. The being was small compared to the beast it rode, but there was something about its posture, relaxed, almost casual, that defied every natural instinct the Zephyrians possessed. The human wore what appeared to be crude protective gear, nothing like the sophisticated environmental suits their own species required for atmospheric flight. One hand rested on the Vorthak's scales while the other seemed to be patting the creature's neck. "Magnify Sector 77 Alpha," ordered Zixthara, her voice barely a whisper. The image expanded and the impossible became undeniable. The human, a species the Zephyrians had only recently encountered and still considered primitive, was not only riding the ancient terror, but appeared to be guiding it. The Vorthak's massive head turned left and right in response to subtle movements from its rider, like a domesticated mount following commands. "Open all communication channels," Zixthara commanded, finding her voice again. "Now." Static filled the chamber before a distinctly human voice crackled through their speakers. The accent was rough, unfamiliar, but the words were in perfect galactic standard. "This is Captain Sarah Chen of the Terran Exploration Corps. I'm requesting permission to land in your capital for diplomatic discussions." The council stared at each other in stunned silence. Finally, Krelmion managed to speak. "Human, how are you? What is that creature?" A sound that could only be described as laughter came through the communicator. "This old girl? Her name's Ember. Found her sleeping in a cave system on Kepler Forum 42C about 6 months ago. Took a while to earn her trust, but turns out she's actually pretty friendly once you show her you're not afraid." "Not afraid?" Zixthera's voice rose several octaves. "That is the Vorthak, the World Eater, the terror of the void." "You see, I heard about all those stories," Chen replied, and they could hear the smile in her voice. "Funny thing about legends, they tend to get exaggerated over time. Ember here isn't a world destroyer. She's just old, lonely, and really good at protecting herself when threatened. Your ancestors probably tried to fight her instead of trying to understand her." The Vorthak, Ember, let out a sound that was part roar, part purr, as if responding to her name. The council watched in amazement as the creature began a graceful descent toward their primary landing platform, its massive form moving with surprising gentleness. "You're telling us," said Council Member Thisik, his voice trembling, "that you simply befriended the most feared creature in our sector of space?" "Well, it wasn't exactly simple," Chen admitted. "Took 3 weeks of leaving her food offerings and another 2 of just sitting outside her cave reading books aloud. Turns out she likes poetry. Who knew?" As Ember touched down on the reinforced landing platform, designed for their heaviest, cargo vessels but dwarfed by the ancient beast. Crowds of Zephyrians gathered at safe distances. Their fear was palpable, but it was mixed with something else now. Wonder. Sarah Chen slid down from Ember's neck with practiced ease, her boots hitting the crystalline surface with a solid thunk. She was unremarkable by human standards. Average. Height. Brown hair tied back in a practical ponytail. Wearing what looked like modified mining gear. But to the Zephyrians watching from behind energy shields, she might as well have been a deity. She approached the council delegation that had nervously assembled at the platform's edge, Ember's massive head following her movement with obvious affection. "The thing about humans," Chen said, removing her helmet and breathing the processed atmosphere with apparent comfort, "is that we have this really annoying habit of making friends with things that are supposed to eat us. Back on Earth, we domesticated wolves, rode horses that could kill us with a kick, and kept tigers as pets. Your Vorthak here? She's just another misunderstood apex predator who needed someone to show her a little kindness." Behind her, Ember settled into a resting position that somehow managed to be both imposing and oddly comfortable. The ancient beast's eyes surveyed the gathering crowd with intelligent curiosity rather than predatory hunger. "Your species," whispered Zixathara, approaching cautiously, "continues to astound us." Chen grinned, reaching back to pat Ember's snout as the massive creature lowered her head companionably. "Oh, you haven't seen anything yet. Wait until you meet my friend Jake. He's been working on communication protocols with a pack of void whales. Turns out they've been trying to contact someone for the past 1,000 years, but everyone keeps running away." The Zephyrian Council exchanged glances, each realizing the same thing. The galaxy had just become a much more interesting place, and perhaps with humans in it, a much less terrifying one too. As Ember let out another contented rumble, Sarah Chen smiled at the assembled aliens. "So, shall we discuss that diplomatic agreement? I promise Ember here will be on her best behavior. Though I should warn you, she's developed quite a taste for those crystal formations you use for decoration. Think we could work out a trade agreement?"